Live, sir. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Obscure and Unscripted. I was supposed to have another co-host join us this evening, but Ed Gale's greatness, I don't know, man. You just intimidate them and scare them off. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no. What do I say? I have that effect on a lot of people.
Well, for those that aren't familiar with Ed, shame on you. He's been in movies, TV for the past 30 years, no?
No, I retired in 2003 from film, and then I retired from television in 2009. I had a 24-year career.
24-year career, which was amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
A lot of folks know you as the actor who portrayed Chucky in Child's Play 1 and 2, Howard the Duck.
And the Bride.
And the Bride, sorry.
First time I got laid in a movie, come on.
That picture doesn't show up very big.
There's the Bulldog from Mom and Dad Save the World.
Right.
There's Howard the Duck from Howard the Duck. And that was my final television appearance, which was on Bones, guest star. God, I look good back there. What happened?
Well, so Ed, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you catch the acting bug, and what did you do to pursue it?
It was basically a series of unfortunate events. No, it was great. I've always told myself, and anybody who would listen, that I was going to. I was born and raised in Michigan, and you ever go to Michigan, you got to go through Plainwell. It's in Allegan County, and it's where I was raised. And I said I'd going to go to California to become an actor. I never wanted to be a star, a movie star, or whatever. I just wanted to be a steady working actor, because what I knew, what I learned, that's the hardest part of acting. Anybody can get a film. Anybody can get an acting job in LA. One, at least, on their own, accidentally. Anybody. So when they say they're lucky, everybody's lucky. And that's what is luck. The actual, task and the challenge is to be a steady working actor, and I was very fortunate to have pulled that off. Anyway, long story short, friend of a friend drives motorhomes. Did from Elkhart, Indiana to California, and he discovered what I liked, and I discovered what he did, and he said, "I can give you a ride to California," and that happened. And then I actually ended up going to work for that motorhome company, and I think I was making $150 a week, and well, I mean, I also, completely all expenses paid, because I stayed with the owners, the people in their guest house. So, all the food, all the transport, everything. So $150 is good money when you have zero expenses.
Absolutely.
And you're 20 years old. You know what I mean? And you left home with $41 in your pocket. So,
that had to be scary.
That's why it's really hard for me when people ask me, how do I become an actor? Or what did you do to become an actor? It's like asking a lottery, a lotto winner, how'd you do it? You just picked 8 numbers, 9 numbers, 6, whatever, And how did I do it? I just came out to California, and then after a while, the people at the motorhome. It's funny because she was the manager of the motorhome lot, who eventually became my manager as an actor. And
cool.
So basically, I was in the business about 4 minutes longer than her. Once I got the phone call, I handed the phone to her, and they said, "Is this Ed's manager?" And she was, She was the She managed the business. So she goes, "Yes." She's very good on her toes, and she goes, "Yes, I'm his manager," and Well, we're doing a movie with Universal Studios and George Lucas called Howard the Duck, and we'd like to bring Ed in. What happened was, at that time, Hollywood used to call um, the LPA, or the Little People of America, founded by Billy Barty in, I think, 1969, 68. It was Midgets of America then, but we know we don't use that word anymore. But there you go. And they called him and asked him for some names of physically, you know, agile people, may consider females, not busty female, you know what I mean? They just had a bunch of things that they wanted specifically. And he gave them 5 names, and one of them was mine. And I don't know the other 4 names. I really don't. And so I said Howard the Duck was my very first everything, or my first anything. My first audition, my first rejection. I was too tall. Um,
Wait a minute. How does that work? I'm sorry.
yeah, they were looking for something like 2'10" and under, and I'm like, yeah, no. Vern Troyer was one of the smallest. I think he was 2'10", and Michoud, who just passed away, I want to say he was 2'8", but you don't get much smaller than that unless you go to Guinness World Record thing. But no, actually walking around on the planet, you don't get under. You really don't get under 3 feet. You don't actually. You don't get under 3.5 feet and still maintain proportion.
Right.
And a lot of we have a lot of disproportions. We have joint problems and respiratory problems, et cetera, et cetera. And Debbie Carrington, who played the bride of Chucky, she just passed away this year, and she had the respiratory problems, where some of the dwarves who pass away have the joint and bone problems. I hope you're editing this.
I can edit whatever you like, sir.
I'm just rambling on, Joe.
No, that's okay. I mean, this is live, granted. I can edit what will hit YouTube.
There we go.
But Ed, part of the show is us bringing up comments from the audience. I've got Melissa Rice, who's waving.
Hi. I just knocked out. Okay.
And let's see, we've got Hi Ed, love you from Virginia.
Oh, that's my girl, Virginia. How you doing? Say hi to Devaney.
Yep. She said, Devaney says hi, Uncle Ed, and she loves you.
Okay, love you, Devaney. I paid a whole lot of people to check out the show, so
I see that. I got a couple of more. Let's see, Leslie, hi Ed, love you.
That Leslie Hoyt, she's from my hometown. I think we went to school together.
Nice. And we've got a friend of the show, Scott Lakes, bows down. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Oh, Scott Lake, yes, you are. You're worthy. How you doing, sir? Good. Glad you joined us.
I am as well. So, Ed, you went from not just being an actor, but an actor stuntman. Did you have any formal training as a stuntman?
No, I had no formal training as an actor either. The stuntman thing was happenstance, because like Howard the Duck did a lot of physical things, dangerous things, which would be called stunts, same as Child's Play and a few others. And how do you find a person that's 3'4"? Then how do you find a person to double him? So
Yeah.
So I was, offered the chance to do some of the stunts, and they just got hairier and hairier, and I just got paid more and more. So,
But this is not really a question. It's how much is enough to get set on fire? I mean, I'm not really asking you how much you got paid for it, but I mean, come on, that's a little.
Well, the nice thing about it is I bought a house, but my second house. But the fire thing, if people just realize it's made to look dangerous, it's not made to be dangerous. And if it is, you've got the wrong stunt coordinator. And I've had those, and I've walked off of shows. But with Howard the Duck. I had Everett Creech, the late Everett Creech, who I believe his daughter is friends with me on Facebook, Andrea. And I can't think of Tony, Lord, who helped me do the fire. And he was the preeminent fire burner then, you know.
That
And
look familiar?
yes, that was the second burn. The third burn, I'm sorry. The first burn was in the fireplace. The second burn was coming out of the fireplace. And then that burn there. And then the burn that went over the
I'm not sure if that's the picture or not. I was
the sofa. And then
I,
I'm sorry.
I was Facebook stalking you, trying to get pictures.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, just there's certain ones you can't show. No. The Oh, I also did. Everybody thinks I was in the movie, but I wasn't. I did a quick fire stunt for Leprechaun, and
That
people
was
were like, "Oh my
part
God,
three.
you!" All I know is the one in Vegas. It's called Leprechaun in Vegas. I don't know the numbers. And like I said, I just walked in. You know, we rehearsed a little bit, did the fires thing, I went home. You know.
We're home. That's it.
Well,
One and done.
when you're the stunt double, and Warwick gets credit for everything, which is fine because I got credit for everything I did. So you don't get much credit. They don't, they don't consider stunt people actors, and so they just push you aside when So I wasn't at the premiere for Leopard. I wasn't. I was just a tool.
All right. I mean, that's got to be a little disappointing. I've spoken to people behind the scenes before, and they really do want to be acknowledged for it. There's so much hard work involved with
Yeah,
it.
it's not. It wasn't for me because I know what I signed up for. They just said, look, no screen credit. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Double double the money, triple the money, no residuals. So I'm like, whatever. I signed it. I can't complain. And to say, God, I'm only making this much, and I'm only doing this, and I don't get my own private limo, whatever, whatever. You signed it. You signed it. You
Right.
know. I mean, I've done things. I was paid $10,000 for the day. I did a bigger movie. I think, oh brother, where art thou? I think I made 1,500, $2,000 for the week. But but what it was is back then I was paid very well for being in costume because I knew what I was doing, and I was known for doing that, and I wouldn't take just any price. Um, to be out of the costume, you take it, honey. You pay them. You want the exposure.
Right.
And so, yeah, I made probably my least money anytime you saw my face
Really?
because I wasn't tried and true. They're just like, yeah, we'll give him a shot. And I, I understand it. And it's like being a police officer. Do you get hazard pay when you're sitting at the desk? And do other police officers consider you a police officer because you're not risking your life? Well, with all the nuts walking around in these buildings, you are. But anyway, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Um,
Absolutely.
and so you have to learn what job you took. The same as you. If you had the chance to work on a huge, like a Ryan Seacrest radio show or whatever, as a copy runner or something, you'd do it just to get close and to expound your network.
Right.
But you won't be sulking around like, well, everybody got donuts and they got lattes and I had a cup of coffee and a whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Twinkie. Yeah. I get
yeah,
it.
you can't complain about something the job you took.
Right. No, I understand that. I mean, yeah, you technically signed on for it. You knew what you were getting involved with and into. So I've got a few more comments here, if I may.
Please.
Well, first of
No.
all,
Next. No.
Virginia loves you, and
That's my
apparently
girl.
is blowing kisses to Uncle Ed. And Scott's still coming back. I'm great. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us and being part of our lives. I mean, that is an actual great point, Scott. The amount of movies and TV shows, I mean, you have been a great part of our lives, and whether people know it or not,
Right.
it's just amazing your career.
It's hard to. It's very surreal, to say when someone says, "Oh my God, you played this," that is awesome, and I agree. It was awesome that I got a chance to play that. But when
Right.
they say you affected our lives, or I grew up watching you, or that one episode that you did, I really, it, it made me feel something. That kind of, you think you touch people's lives. That's hard to. That's hard to wrap your head around.
I
And
can.
that's what makes everything I do worthwhile.
Right. That's beautiful. We got Chris McGreasy. He's showing an O face or a smiley face. It's something that came up earlier. I
Oh, that's my
apologize, Chris.
that's the shock. That face.
Ah,
I saw that.
and
Well, thank you. What was his first name?
his name was Chris
Oh, there it is.
McGreasy.
Hey, Chris, if you're still with us, good to have you.
And Virginia's saying that was Leprechaun 3, and then she was saying it was 4. Joe, also Ed was in Honey. I blew up the kid. That's right.
Yep. I think it was Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, and then that sounded too. The producers didn't. They wanted. It just sounded horrible. But so they changed it to Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Yeah.
Ed, this question was bound to come up. We got Brandon asking you a question, sir.
Woodruff. Brandon, he does all my artwork on my fan page. Hey, Brandon, glad you could join us. Thoughts on Child's Play reboot? I had to ask the question. Yep, none of your business. I don't believe it's. I don't believe it's a reboot. I've had people argue with me, but if you argue on Facebook, you're an idiot. Anybody who wants to argue online, I don't care for. I call them keyboard cowards. But anyway, I don't classify it a reboot. I classify it as a reimagining because none of the original, writers, directors, creators, actors, nothing original. And there are 5 children instead of one, Andy, one. And the robot is and Chucky is a robot. And it's artificial intelligence, and these kids program it, whatever. It's a great deal. I think it'll be a cute situation. But I just don't think they should try to live off, the Child's Play name. They could have made it its own movie, and it would have worked.
Right. And coincidentally, they're doing the same thing with Leprechaun at the same time almost.
Yes,
So,
Leprechaun is for the Sci-Fi Channel. So you have in the Screen Actors Guild, you have low budget, ultra low budget, and obviously big budget, high budget. I think the Leprechaun thing will be no budget because it'll be it's just going to be a remake. That's a remake. That's just another little guy running around in a costume, and I'm hoping it does well because he's an up and coming young actor. I think you might remember him from what was the one the Wayans brothers did, and one of the Wayans was a baby.
oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to.
Okay,
He was the
not
baby
baby daddy,
gangster.
but little baby, or I don't care. Anyway, and the little guy was the body double for the baby. Then when they had to, and then he's moved up and up. I don't know him personally, but listening to the trailer of
Little
Leprechaun.
Man. Brandon said Little Man was the name of the movie.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Yeah. Anyway, and he's done a few other things, so this will be a good chance for him. It'll be his claim to fame, his breakout. So I hope that I hope it does well for him. Other than that, yeah, I don't care.
Well, it seems interesting that, to go back to Child's Play, that they're doing a reboot of the movie at the same time they're supposedly doing a TV series.
Right. Don Mancini, Jennifer Tilly, Brad Dourif. I don't know any other names. I don't know if Alex and Christine Elise. I don't know if they're doing the TV series, but I know they. I don't know how many episodes they shot. I'm thinking like 5 or 8. It's just like a mini series. It's just a 5 or 8 part thing, but I don't know if they've sold it. So I don't know if it's a. Well, it could. Yeah, I was gonna say no. It's too much for television, but it's not because you've got that. What's the horror story? What is it?
Oh, American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Yeah. You can talk, honey. Let me see the baby. He's awake. If you'll stand still. If not, then we won't. But we're gonna say really quick. Freshly bathed.
Uh,
There he
hey,
is.
Miles! Well, I'm sorry. Introduce the newest member of your family.
Oh, this is Miles. We got him when he was 4 weeks old. He's now 10 weeks old. And I said he looks like the Gravelings in Dead Like Me. You'll have to research that one. Because the Gravelings kill people and take their soul. And he got it. He's got our soul and he's killed us. Oh, yeah. We're dead inside. He's won everything. He's so spoiled. But anyway, that's the baby. And my husband is over here, but he says, I'm not camera ready. So, at least say hi to everybody. Hi! Because Virginia's on, and so is Brandon. A lot of the old group.
You can show your face if you like.
Yeah, come on, just a quick pop. They've seen you on live anyway. Come on.
I know, but let me fix me.
The one picture that Ed took with Miles and him in the window.
Yes.
I wish I would have brought that up. I'm sorry, I didn't put it in the program, but that is a beautiful picture.
Miles hates it.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it, but I said, you don't have to like it. It's going on my page, not yours.
Oh. All right. I've got more questions and comments.
Yay.
I've got Chris. Well, Chris is saying, yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I know Joe was looking forward to this for quite some time now. I absolutely was. I was highly disappointed when we canceled last time, and that was all on our end, and with deep regrets. I just felt horrible, just so you know.
Life happens.
We got Scott saying that I still have my original VHS copy of Howard the Duck from when I was a kid. It plays perfectly. You've been a big part of my life.
Oh, well, we'll have to sign that for you, Scott, if you can just send the cardboard cover. Obviously, don't send the whole tape.
Yeah,
and because you can flatten them down. You can flatten them down and put them in a envelope instead of the whole box, which can get expensive. But I don't know how we can put my my Facebook so they can reach me, but or Ed Gale .fanclub@yahoo.com. I don't know.
Ed Gale I'm sorry, what was it?
Ed Gale .fanclub@yahoo.com. Anyway, if they can, you can reach me that way. edgale.fanclub@yahoo.com. There you go. Excuse me. Whoa. Losing my voice, and I haven't talked all week.
Drink more Pepsi.
Yeah, this is Hawaiian Punch.
Oh, Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, I can't do caffeine.
And Scott did reply to that. I think my heart stopped for a moment. Thank you so much. So I'm assuming you're going to get that cardboard from that tape.
Yeah, definitely.
We got Brandon. One of my favorite movies, Ed, was in Santa Jr.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed it. And that was my first contract when I met Minard. I was, it's like, but I didn't tell him what I did for a living. But well, by then he knew. By then he knew. He came down with me. That's right. So yeah, I think he knew, what I did as an actor and stuff like that. But I was in a lull. It's kind of like, you sure you're an actor? You don't go anywhere. I said, I said, I owned, and I will brag about it mostly to myself, not out loud. I'm always talking to myself. Um, I owned the '80s. I did so many of the '80s films, iconic films. My name wasn't iconic, and it still isn't, and I'm not a legend. My characters are. And I was just happy to bring them to life. It's like how many people have been in the Mickey Mouse suit. You'll never know, because that's Mickey Mouse. It's not Tom,
Right.
Fred, Steve, or Julie or whatever. It's the same as when they think of Chucky. I don't want them to think of me because I was only a piece of Chucky. I was not the voice. That's Brad Dourif. I didn't write it. That was um, Don Mancini, Tom Holland, and John LaFia, the first script. Um, David Kirshner designed. I think he designed it. I don't know what you're calling it, but Kevin Yeager built it. But he had to build it from whoever created it.
Right,
Designed it.
but you,
Anyway,
but
and all
Ed,
I did was
you physically brought him to life, and you were on fire as Chucky. I mean, that was a
yes,
crucial part of the film.
but what would people notice more? Me walking in the suit, just blips of seconds every so often, or
Right.
Brad Dourif's voice,
Okay. Fair enough.
or
Still.
if you watched me in Howard the Duck and out of the costume, oh brother, where art thou? Would you say, oh, that looked like the guy who played Howard the Duck? Look at his walk. Come on,
No.
but you
Okay.
kind of know, but you kind of know George Clooney.
Who?
I've
Who?
heard George Clooney. He did a couple of things.
Yeah.
Up and coming.
All right. We got
But
Mike.
but you know what I'm saying. So
Sure.
what do you
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to pull this up. I'll let you read this one if you could, please.
oh, Mike, you got around it. I hate the word favorite, and I just swear to God, when I saw of all of your work, you were going to say what's your favorite. It said, "What are you most proud of?" If you could play one of your roles again, which one would it be? Oh wow, let's go with the most proud of. Howard the Duck because it's my first. Um, Baywatch because it was out of the costume. And okay, at my end, why do I only see Howard's chest? Or is it because I'm on a split screen with you? Probably.
Yeah, I got Howard the Duck pulled up because you said Howard the Duck. I pulled up the picture
No,
of
I'm
you.
just saying I just see Howard's chest, but I'm just wondering if.
Oh, it's going to look different when
Okay.
you watch the actual broadcast.
Right. But anyway, yeah, Howard and Baywatch. Well, I was the father of a 14-year-old child who was ashamed of his father because being a little person, and everybody on Baywatch is perfect. And even my son was perfect. He was blonde haired, blue eyed, gorgeous. And all of his friends were gorgeous boys, and their dads were prize winners. And then here comes me, and it really affected him, and it would anybody. That if you're obese, your children have a hard time with it, or in a wheelchair, or anything at that age, at that certain age, that you can't do anything to not embarrass your child. you know, and so anything physically different would affect the child. His popularity cred. So
Let's
that's a good
see.
question.
Virginia was kind enough to send a link to your official actor fan page that I just put up.
Oh, that's on Facebook. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And they can contact me there. and follow me. I call. You're gonna have to bleep this out, but I got 5. I call Facebook fuckbook because I was on there for 9 years, 8 years, and I had 8,000 plus fans and followers. And then on my personal page, I had 4,000 plus friends and followers. And right in the middle of the day, right in the middle of the talking to people, having a good time, bam, this thing pops up and says your account's been disabled. And just for the half a second, I thought maybe I missed a payment. You know what I mean? You just, and I, wait a minute, don't pay for Facebook. You know, and because just the way it said disabled, it just meant, you need to reach it. You need to see the principal. So I was just like, yeah, okay. And then I couldn't log back in. It says it's been disabled. And then if you have any questions or something, you know, click here. And I did. I just like, what's up? What happened? And it says you've been disabled and it cannot be undone for any reason. You you violated the community services, community policies. What is it called? Standards. You deleted and you've been deemed ineligible to be on Facebook. This is the only email you'll receive on the subject. Gone.
That just happened like a couple months ago, didn't it?
Mid-August, actually.
I
Actually, I think it's our
remember.
anniversary. Minard and I have been together 16 years, and it was August 8th. I think they hit me August 7th. 7th or 8th on our anniversary. And I worked for days and days to try to get it back, and now, I got a couple hundred followers. I'm starting all over again. So,
Well, we'll help you do that if we can.
I appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. We appreciate you. I'm going to look at some more question and comments. Well, we've got Devin. A simple happy Thanksgiving, Ed.
Devin Mulligan, that's my buddy in Arizona. Thank you,
So,
Devin.
so do you guys have
alone? Minard's work.
do you guys have
I'm
big
sorry?
plans this Thanksgiving?
No, Minard works this time. He's going to be off Christmas and New Year's. And then so next year, he'll be off Thanksgiving and he'll work Christmas. It's every other year. So he
No.
works Sunday. What's today? Monday. He works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As if it's just a regular week. There's no. So, and it's the dog's first Thanksgiving, so I don't know. I'll find some turkey puppy food or something.
That dog.
There's Miles. They're cute. Isn't he cute, everybody? Be jealous. I don't care. Don't hate me because I have a beautiful dog. And he's been approved. He's been approved. I have his. Where's it at? Oh, where'd it go? Ah, it was right here. Those key tags. They were right here. He's been approved as. Well, I don't know. If I hold something up, will it be backwards on your camera? Is that backwards?
No.
Okay, because of mine it is. Like Facebook
All
and
right.
stuff. No, they were
Bring
right
it up
here.
again.
No, that was Taco Bell. But I'm just
Oh.
trying to see the words. Over here. It's got to be here. Oh, look at my pouch. Get the big one out. With a clip on it. Anyway, he was approved as my emotional support animal. Miles, not Minard.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's in the pocket. Give it to me. There we go. Where'd it go? There we go. Have my address on it. My phone number. Nope. Okay. Nothing. How do I do it? Tell me when I'm in focus.
You are in focus, official. That is. Oh, look at the picture of.
Yeah. Ah. Yep. I think it's the same one you got. Nope. It's not. But anyway. So he can go anywhere with me as far as, restaurants and stuff like that. But he's not a service dog because the hell would he do? and, but he's emotional support, and my blood pressure is so much lower when he's with me, and my anxiety is, you'd think would be higher with this little freak, but he just calms me down, and I think about him instead of all the stuff I got going on, with my oxygen and with my, everything. So I just think it's amazing what these animals can do.
Well, I'm a parent myself, and I know with any newborn, usually my blood pressure goes up a little.
Right.
um,
Well, I think humans are luckier because your kid doesn't begin to drive you crazy until like terrible twos. Babies go nuts in 2 or 3 weeks, and he hasn't stopped. He just runs and runs and runs and barks and runs, and he's got so much energy. So you get a couple of years of just the baby can't even open his eye. You know what I mean? And then it kicks in. This kicks in from birth. And long. Do you remember when your baby first cried? Where the hell those lungs come from? You know?
so, is he housebroken yet?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. He will not do it. He will not do it. We put him in his pen, and he cries, and he cries, and we leave him 12 hours. He cried, and he barked, and he cried. And we let him out. He peed on the floor. This has been going on. So now we're thinking, Minor wants to think of, like training classes for us, to learn how to do the dog thing. I'm thinking taxidermist. Too soon? Too soon? It'll work out.
We got Melissa Rice saying, "Oh, I love the pup." I mean,
Thank you, Melissa. That's
he is.
Miles, MYLES. So if you're ever looking up on Instagram, he has his own account. It's official.miles.gale. And because everyone in Minor's family is MY. His name is Minor. His sister is Mylan. His brother's Myron. The grandkids are Mayanna, Mykonos, and Michaela. All MY. So when we named him the first day, Minor named him Duck because of the commercial. There was a commercial where the dog was named Duck. But anyway, it lasted for about a day. But Minor always calls me Duck, and I'm like, this is not working, you know. And so we changed it, and then the lady who brought us the dog said she likes like human names, but distinctive names. Gunther, Chad, things like that. So we went through it alphabetically, A B C D D D. And when she said like M, I don't know what she said, no, and then she said something, and then she said Miles, and mine was like, wait a minute, I can do that with a Y, M-Y. And
Yeah.
And our motorhome is Miranda, M-Y.
I noticed that also. I saw the pictures of that. That's really cool.
And that's our new permanent home. We live in here full time and love it.
And we're going to touch base on you guys traveling over the summer, was it? Give us a moment for that. We got Tasha saying dogs are the best, too cute. I couldn't agree more. What kind of dog is he again? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a multi-poo, meaning Maltese and poodle.
Gotcha. And
Thank
we
you,
got.
Tasha. I played Tasha the baby dinosaur.
And we've got Leslie saying buy stock and bounty.
Yes, buy stock and bounty. Oh yeah, we spent so much money on. We got baby wipes for dogs. We got face wipes for dogs, eye wipes for dogs, pee pads, um, everything. And he just laughs at us. And we'll he'll just pee right in front of you. He sat in my arms and just rocking him to sleep and just peed. And I'm like, really? Mine wants to try diapers. I just know that won't work. He'll just chew those off. So he loves linoleum floor. That's all he'll do.
Hey, I've got questions that I've been going through, and I'm holding off on some. I've got Kevin Sullivan saying, Ed Buddy. I'm assuming you know who he is. Oh, Ed went sideways.
Yes. I tried that. Didn't work. Is it back? Is it back to normal?
Yes, it's back to normal.
Okay, I tried that. It didn't turn on my end. Anyway, that's Kevin Sullivan. That's my buddy from Facebook.
So, here's Miles' link to Instagram.
Here we go, Virginia. Virginia's my online media publicist. You ask her
Nice.
any questions, she's a sweetheart. Instagram, yeah, officialmiles.gale. There you go.
If I put that across the scroller right now, it would take about a minute to go across. So I'm not
No,
putting
that's
that
fine.
across the scroller.
No, that's fine.
So
Well,
Ed,
Instagram is owned by Facebook, so we'll wait. They'll take his page down too. So.
I was going to say, are you going to go to Instagram jail?
No, they'll just delete his account because you're not supposed to have pet accounts.
I mean, who cares?
I click. It's funny when I try to report, pornographic material.
Right.
If it's all male, it's gone. If it's solo male, it's gone. Female, it doesn't violate their terms of service.
Oh, wow.
I so bad want to give Harvey a call. Levin from TMZ, and just show him everything I got, all my pictures, all the pages that are approved, and things like that. But they'll take down your picture, Joe. If you have a picture of your baby with no shirt on,
Really?
child pornography, they'll nail you hard.
Wow. That's insanity.
Yeah, no, the world we live in.
Fair enough.
And everybody's worried about Donald Trump. He's only there for 4 years. Facebook's been in there for what, 10?
Yeah. Ed, I mean, I don't want to ask you cookie cutter questions, but there's some things that I am curious about. I mean, like with all your characters, the prosthetics, the costumes, and everything, what was the most torturous, and then you still had to act for however many hours after it?
Well, I mean, I think you have different types of torture.
Fair enough. Are you claustrophobic?
No.
Okay,
No,
apparently
no.
not. I was going to say.
That wouldn't work, no. The heaviest, the most, excruciatingly painful was Station from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Let me see what I got.
It was huge. Hot. I mean, huge, heavy. Yep, right there. And I'm the one with the thumb up. And the guy next to me is Arturo Gil. He's done a lot. And the hottest, physically passing out, because we shot it in the desert in the summer, would be Tasha, the baby dinosaur from Land of the Lost. So, there she is. Yeah. And we did 2 seasons, 13 shows each season, so we did 26 shows. And I lost a lot of weight.
Well, I'm sure. Was that just kind of like a zipper up thing after?
Nope.
Like,
Allen
no.
Wrench.
Wow.
Everything's locked in place. And Howard the Duck, I would be in that one up to 17 hours, and they wouldn't take me out of it because it takes so long. And so I would just the puppeteer Tim Rose, who operated the mouth, would open the mouth, and they could drop M&Ms or Skittles or something in my mouth. I lost 11 pounds in a month on that one, back when I didn't have 11 pounds to lose. Lost a lot of weight on Land of Lost because it was so hard to get me out that they couldn't take me out in between takes. But if it's going to be a lengthy, 10, 20 minutes, they could take the head off. And a lot of these costumes that you see, like mascots of the ball games and parades, they have fans built in. But you can't do that with these because the microphone will pick it up.
Oh, wow.
So what they used to do is a cool suit. It was a mesh netting, like fishnet stockings girls wear, the mesh. Little kitty.
I just got a visitor, apparently.
Little kitty jumped in.
It's my daughter's cat
Oh,
joining the show.
look at the kitty.
It was kind of unexpected.
No, I'm a cat person, and he's definitely allergic, so we don't have cats. But anyway, the costume. Oh, the cool suit. It would be a mesh vest with a little tubing running through it. Tubing running up and down like a little fish tank tube,
Right.
and then there would be a literally igloo made a fortune off of it. A little igloo water ice cooler and a little pump, and it would pump that water through not water, but glycol or whatever, and it would pump cold water through the vest when you weren't working. Like the boxer goes and sits in the corner and cools down. So I go in the corner, I try to drink something cold on the vest, cool the body down, and zip it up and hit this, go back in front of camera. That's in the old, the old days. Everything's CGI now, so.
Well, I mean, so are you looking at 18 hours without hitting the head, going to the pot, or?
Well, it's like football players. You ever seen a football player take a bathroom break?
Yeah, I was a football player, but
no, I'm saying you don't because you sweat so much. The water never hits your kidneys. You can you can drink Gatorade for hours and still not pee because you're sweating it all out. And so I never really. Oh, maybe a couple of times. I had to with a lot of downtime if I'm just sitting, and because I used to put the Howard the Duck suit on. Oh, they would help me. 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't see the camera until 11 o'clock at night.
Wow, that's got to be torturous.
We got to take him out. No, he's fine. He's fine. We're going to be up. His scene is up next. And I can turn that into, a severely abusive situation of taking advantage of the new guy who's afraid to say no. I can just tell you it's the greatest time of my life. I was in a movie. Screw you.
That's a double-edged sword right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays I just walk off the set, but I wouldn't do that back then. You're scared, when you're new and they know you're new, they just think they can, they can take advantage of you. And then eventually you make enough money, it doesn't matter. Let them take advantage of me.
I wish I did. Okay, I'm looking over some more questions and everything. Let me take off the banner if I may. Let's see, take that down. And then I'm going to put Ed's name back up. I am going to put my name back up. And Leslie's saying she's got to go. Phone is dying, but she'll talk with you soon.
Okay, darling. We'll see ya.
How was it like doing Dolly Dearest? That's a great question.
I joked with everybody, and I told everybody it was Chucky in drag. And I think it was after Child's Play 2 and before Child's Play 3. So I said it was Child's Play 3, Chucky in drag. And then the production found out that I played Chucky, and they completely freaked out, thoughting that there would be some conflict of interest and I wouldn't be allowed to do what I'm doing, and then they'd shut the film down, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no. I said, whenever you're in costume, you those laws don't apply to you. Like you personally, like Joe. Is it Joe? Is it Bob? What is it?
Me?
Joe Bob? Yeah.
Are you calling me Joe Bob? I wish I was Joe Bob Briggs, but no, I'm just Joe.
Joe Ridgely. Thank you. Took me a minute. Leave me alone. Not Joe Bob Briggs. It was somebody he's going by Joe Bob Biggs as an homage to Jim Bob. Joe Bob. Anyway, hush. Don't confuse me. Don't let me confuse me.
Fair enough.
With Dolly Deer, yeah, they thought they had a conflict. But you yourself, Joe, you could not do a Burger King commercial and a McDonald's commercial. Because, you can't say, I love the Big Mac. And then, I love the Whopper. Conflict of interest.
Right.
And both McDonald's and Burger King can sue you for the cost of those commercials, which will all of a sudden magically become millions. It took $40 million to make that commercial. But anyway, being in a costume, they can't. Like the man who plays Ronald McDonald, he could play the Burger King. I doubt that he does, but he's in a mask. You would never know.
Right.
You know, he's working. Bless him. You know. But anyway, so the Dolly Dearest was very low budget versus Chucky, so it's a lot different. I love low budget. Big budgets they treat like crap.
Well, I'm pulling up the picture. If you all can see, it would be the upper left-hand corner is Dolly Dearest. And
okay, go ahead. I'll see it on the broadcast.
oh, so you can't see it right now. I wasn't aware of that.
No, I've got a split screen. I got you on top, and then down below I'm seeing Friday the 13th, Child's Play, and my fat belly in a green shirt and pants. That's it.
It's actually the picture, your picture
Right.
of all of them. So
my collage.
You're exactly. So, I mean, it's a really cool collage, though. I mean, do you feel yourself when you were still acting? Were you typecast in the horror genre?
No, I don't know because I have my other collage. It shows you, you know, how it's done. Baywatch, Mom and Dad Save the World, Land of the Lost, Bones. I think I said Baywatch, Polar Express. So I mean, it's an equal amount, but I just think there's diehard fans of horror and fans of comedy and fun shows. There's not too many people who just absolutely love. When it comes into fanatics or fans, that's of your love stories, your chick flicks, and horror. Which is funny because I am not into horror at all. I don't like horror. I don't like gore. And I don't like zombies.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a fun fact.
But I appreciate all my fans who love it, who love horror, and I just don't watch it. I mean, doing a horror film takes 3, 4, 5 months, and you watch the whole thing in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and so you think you saw gore every day. No. Unfortunately, some of those gory shots, like cutting a guy's head off, boom, his head falls off. It took weeks to make, and days to shoot, and it gets 8 seconds on camera.
Oh, I definitely know about that. I've interviewed people pertaining to that, and they're just like, yeah, the months involved and the aggravation to try to get it perfect. And so
I know a lot of actors, it takes 10 hours to get in makeup, so they can only work an hour. They can't go over 12 hours. So.
I got a question here, and it says, Kevin Sullivan wants to know, what was it like to meet Michael Jackson?
That's another picture I have, was when Michael wanted to meet Howard the Duck, because Michael's very childlike himself. He's a young giddy child, and we were at the Lucasfilm ILM, and Michael was there doing editing on Captain EO for Disneyland, and I guess he saw me walking across somewhere doing, and he's like, "What is that?" And they said, "Oh, that's another one of George's movies," blah 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 blah. And he said, "Oh my God, I want to see it." So they had to wait until after dark. Michael couldn't go out during the day, so I'd been there all day working, and so then I took a nap, and they woke us up and they put me in the costume, and still didn't tell me who it was, and they just said some important people. They want to meet Howard, and I'm thinking it's the executives, producers, or their family, whatever. So I'm just dancing, and they said, "Oh, do the moonwalk." They go, "Oh, do this," "Oh, do that." And so when they said, "Oh, do the moonwalk," it wasn't a dead giveaway, because that was just one of. They asked me to do 3 or 4 things, do the Chuck Berry, do the Elvis, and do the moonwalk, and of course, rubber feet on carpeting. I didn't have any. That wouldn't work. But anyway, then they took the mask off, and there was Michael. And it was like Talk about your heart stopping, you know. And you're not supposed to be starstruck because you're supposed to be a star. You know, you're supposed to be one of them. And oh, Mike, no, wasn't happening. Lost my mind. And then a day or two later, he called my house, wanting me to participate in Captain EO. But George Lucas said no because I was already contracted to them. And Michael said Captain EO was going to be like 5 or 6 weeks. He'd only need me for like 5 days. It ended up being 5 months. And Howard the Duck was supposed to be 10 weeks. And it went 10 months. So that's why you can't loan out your actors like that, in the middle of a show. But and also
Oh, yeah.
some actors, if you have a big enough name, like that newbie, George Clooney, um, if you have a name like that, you can demand a guaranteed end date because you have a guaranteed start date from another film, and it can run up to $50,000 a day that you go over
Wow.
because that production is stuck without you. You know. Anyway, it's a mess that I love to hate, and then I just stopped loving it, and it was just time to go. And I was getting tired of Hollywood, and Hollywood was getting tired of little people, and everything was going toward computer and CGI anyway. So I got in at the time when they really needed little people, and I got out when they didn't. So it was a wonderful marriage,
Well, that brings up a valid point, though. What's your opinion with practical effects versus CGI?
Well, I think it's part of the oxymoron that is Hollywood, because to put me in it, to build my costume was, I think Howard was 1.2 million and Chucky was like 1.3 million. The dinosaur Tasha was 600,000. That's just to make the suit, and that's also the money, 80s money. That's probably a lot more now.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have to pay me, which wasn't millions, but it was decent money. Where when they did CGI on Land of the Lost, it was because it's early. That was 1990. It's $200,000 for every second of film. Where the hell's the savings there?
And it looked CGI.
And it looks CGI. Unless the whole movie is CGI, then it's okay.
Right.
Like whatever. But when you want to just throw in one object, I think like one that really got me was when Star Wars started going that way. After the original, a lot of people don't understand, the young kids. The first ones that come out was 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
Then 1, 2, and 3. And so 1, 2, and 3. When people say the first Star Wars, you and I think number 4 because it's the first one we saw. Well, they're thinking number 1, duh. But anyway, like Jar Jar Binks, he just floated on the. They're just not there. They're not tangible. And you got 3 actors in the room looking at the same, like Jar Jar Binks. They're all 3 looking at 3 different areas.
Right. I mean, that's all green screen and.
Yeah, and a lot of times the director will put his fist up and say, "Right here, Jar Jar is right here. Look at me." So they look at the fist. They look at the fist. The camera guy is happy. Director leaves. Fist is gone. So the actors try to remember where they're looking, and especially with their lines. And if you have to turn away and then turn back and find this imaginary, no, can't be done. And that's why you get what we call floating eyes. And it's like, what the hell are you looking at? He's over here. It's just, and Hollywood they think they're saving money. And it's not. I mean, any movie with that, it takes over a year. While they were going to do Howard the Duck animated, it would have taken 3 years.
Wow.
And it was slated for 10 weeks, and it could have been done in 10 weeks, but it took 10 months. Just a lot of inexperience, and definitely not Lucas or on Lucas's team. No, director's producer. Yeah, it should have. We did 20, 30 takes of everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We got Brandon asking the question on what was it like playing Dink in Spaceballs or Dink 1 in Spaceballs?
Dink number one. Get it right.
Dink number 1.
If
Sorry.
you're gonna be a dink, you got to be number one. Okay. Um,
Yeah, you do have to be a number 1. Absolutely.
and that's
Merchandising.
merchandising. That's right. And they're doing, if he stays with us, Mel, they're doing the second one, Star Wars Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. And I'd love to see how that script is gonna go. Um, and it was fun because I got to obviously meet Mel Brooks, and a friend of mine from Howard the Duck was working on Spaceballs. He was the first assistant director on Howard the Duck, and then he went to work for Mel. And he called me and he said, I can't bring you in for an audition. That's against the rules, and I sure can't pay you. But if you happen to have lunch with me, um, we have to walk past Mel's office to get to my desk. You know what I'm saying? Nice guy, wonderful guy, Dan Coleswood. And so I got to the lot. He had me a drive on, so at least I got to park there. Got onto the MGM lot, got parked, and found Dan. He was like 6'4" or 6, Swedish guy. So when him and I walked out, that was a sight to see. And he walked past Mel Brooks' office and said, going to lunch. And anything, he said, no. And he's, who's that with you? Because I'm 3'4". He's 3 foot, or he's 6'12". And he said, oh, this is my friend Ed Gale. And he said something about, we're doing a movie, and we need little guys like you. He might have said midget, I don't care. For Mel Brooks, whatever. But we need a few of yous, and in the movie, make sure give Cassie a call or something. And I was like, cool. And then, well, how'd you meet Dan? Dan, how'd you meet him? He said, oh, the last movie I just worked on, Howard the Duck. He was Howard. It's like, no way. Oh, anybody who can do that effing movie can do my movie. And shook my hand and said, you're in. Give me your information to my secretary to make sure that I didn't have to do the audition process or anything. I was in, and
Awesome.
so I can't get mad at any other little people who have those gimme roles, because we've all had them. Well, you just got it because you were friends with Jerry Seinfeld. That would be Daniel Woodburn, and yeah, and I got one because of Mel. I got one. Oh, Tom Holland asked for me to direct for Child's Play 1. Asked for me by name because he saw my work on Howard the Duck and said, that's the kind of actor I need, the physicality. Again, didn't care about my looks, didn't care about nothing. I knew how to make a costume breathe. So he called me in, we met, and, I told him all of my strengths and my weaknesses. I said, I might not be able to I can get you from point A to point B. Maybe not the way you want, but I can do it. If you want him to do a somersault over there, can't do a somersault. But I can roll on the ground. I can make it happen, and that's what he liked about me. And I said, I don't claim to know anything. You have to tell me. You have to be the director, and I have to be the actor. So you have to be able to tell me what to do, and I have to be able to know what you're saying. And that I think I have. I don't have acting. I can't cry on cue. I can't method act. There's a lot of things. I'm not Shakespearean. I'm not theatrically trained. But I use logic. I'm logic based, and so, like when you can't see in a costume, I would always rehearse backwards, counting my steps, and then I could walk forward. So if you wanted me to, walk up and grab this, I would have to count. I'd hold it, and then I'd walk backwards. Then I'd count forward, raise my hand at the right time, because you can't just be walking out like this, like a baby catching, you know. You have to be able to make it look natural. And then when you have 7 people operating your face independently, one guy has the mouth, one guy has the cheeks, one guy has the eyeballs, one guy has the eyelids, one guy has the eyebrows, and ladies. We had Mary Wells and Lisa Stirs on Howard the Duck, and it's all got to go in symphony. You know, it's got to be in harmony. So I put in the work. You know.
Could you physically see out the eye holes?
With Howard the Duck until they fogged over, then we were done. And which they could use a hair dryer with the heating element cut out, and it would kind of defrog, you know, like your car window, you know, where did he go pee while you were holding him? Well, you might hear him bark. He's being punished. He's gonna go back in the pen. See, he just
That's
peed
okay.
there holding
I
him.
got a cat behind me again.
Nobody was just holding him, and he peed on him.
Oh,
Was he asleep? Was he asleep, honey?
He was comfortable, not asleep.
Oh, he was just laid there comfortable, just pee. Lord. All right, puppy for sale.
starting bid $1.
That's right. No, 1 penny. Come on, please. Oh, he peed on the pillow? Oh, and he peed on a pillow. Not the pillowcase, the pillow. Well, that one's gone. Ah, that's a My Pillow.
Yeah, it's
No. Oh, no.
Those things are expensive.
It's washable.
Yeah, it better be washable. But at least our motorhome comes with a washer dryer.
There you go.
And we got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, so we're happy.
You got Brandon saying you spent too much money on them, sell them.
Right?
No, I mean, that's the baby.
He is, but it's just like your kids. You get frustrated in private, you know?
See, the nice thing about my kids is one is 22, was already in Japan in the army, and the other one's 13, and she's going on 22 and just driving me nuts. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I think 13-year-old boys are worse than 13-year-old girls.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I guess. Well, now, do you ever tell your kids? Do you know why we have 2 children? Because we didn't.
Well, the second one knows because we had a hurricane in Florida and there was nothing better to do. But that's beside the point.
That's right.
She was a hurricane baby.
But we love you. But
that's
we
right.
love you.
That is a thing down here, hurricane babies. So
right. Well, we wanted you, just not then.
Exactly. Oh,
Tough love. No, we didn't want you. We still don't want you. You know, if you can hang out until you're 18, then you got to go.
That's right, and that's why we have 2 kids, 2 dogs, a cat, and I don't think there's any other animals here. Oh, my wife. Not that she's an animal. Whoa, that came out way wrong.
And it's on and it's recorded.
And I know how to edit, so it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but I can't edit. I'm recording this end. I don't even know how this thing works. I'm not recording it. I don't know how the hell to do any of this. Anyway.
Well, you have an iPhone, and that's for adults, and I only have an Android. There's grown-ups, yes. I only have an Android.
Android, that's for kids. Mine has an Android. God. What can you do with an Android? Oh, you get Netflix for free, and you get Fortnite. That's what the phone's for. It's a toy.
I've got 128 gigs on here. I edit my shows on it. I do the whole 9 yards. If I lost this, I would truly be lost.
Well, you don't back up because you have an Android. People think, you don't need to back up. It's an Android. Okay.
Well, okay. I got a cloud, just like you do.
Oh, yeah, good. I have it's so funny. I've got, my iPhone is 256, and my cloud is a terabyte. My cloud's a terabyte. I think I use 2% of all of them. My phone, I don't use anything. You know, and either way, I love it. But I don't want to get when do you stop upgrading? Because I got the iPhone X. Now there's the XS and XR. Whatever. It's like,
Well, I mean,
they
yeah,
they
it
make you
depends on if
buy
you
them,
want to mortgage your house or mortgage or put a lien on your car,
right?
and
You know, and people want to be the first, and I want to hear the critic. I want to hear the reports. You know, like yeah. What about your Samsung catching fire?
no, ain't
No,
gonna happen. Don't wish bad things on me.
no, I'm not. But remember, did you have that one?
Which oh no, the Samsung that caught fire? No, I did not. Absolutely
Miner
not.
did.
Oh, did he? Did he have issues with it?
None, and they disabled it anyway. They said after today, if you go to charge your phone, it will not charge. It's done. Please return it. You get a free one, of course,
Right,
but
right.
they're just because some of the people, like even in hurricanes, they won't evacuate. Now I'm staying here. Well, mine was like I love my phone, and he's had zero problems, not even trying to get warm, you know. And of course, it wasn't 100% failure rate. It was high, 80 or 90%, but it wasn't 100. And they just took it offline. They said we're going to disable all of the Note 2, whatever it was. And we got another one, but no, he loves Android, and I love people who love Android. I'm just teasing. I just think I said the second step below racism, the actual, hate and the races and the sexists and all the other real hatred comes
Right.
Mac or PC. Oh, those people hate each other. Well, I'm a Mac. Oh, they're even above Republican Democrat fighters. If you're a Republican or Democrat, they'll burn your house down. But Mac or PC, they'll kill your children. They're just like they're nasty people.
Oh, guys, I'm looking at comments, and we're not going to get into the iPhone and Android debate.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, it's on the comments. Sorry, guys.
No, I mean there's some that are fun. I get comments through like 3 or 4 different pages feeding into this, so it's not just the live feed that you're seeing.
Well,
but
somebody said something that I can't see because Joe's face is so red.
I do. I get flushed, and I don't want to say anything inappropriate or. I mean,
interesting.
And for those of you that are not 18 or older, I told Ed there was a limit to 5 fucks per episode.
And I've only used one. And the one that I used is the holder of my fan page. I live on the edge. You knew I was wild when you met me.
You do. And I want to talk about you guys vacationing a little, and then we're going to wrap it up. So you guys are in this beautiful, is it a Winnebago? What is it?
Oh, no. It's a Thor Miramar. And beautiful. We love it. We sold everything. And it's funny because years and years ago, I sold everything, all my houses and everything, and decided to get an apartment for 5 years, just to regroup and, spending out of control and just being Hollywood. So I needed a few years to just start over. I was in that apartment for 22 years with rent control. I was very lucky, very blessed.
Wow.
So then when Miner decided, we'd been together for 15 years then, and he said he wants a motorhome, and I'm like, why? I'm a homebody. I don't like leaving home. That'll kill me. He says, no, it's the opposite. And I said, it'll kill you? He says, no. He said, anxiety, and you have to be home right now. I don't care if we're at Disneyland and 40 minutes away or Disney World, 10 hours away, 20 hours away. I have to be home right now when I go into my little anxiety fits. But he said in a motorhome, home is always 20 steps away. You know, so
Mm,
if we haven't done it yet, but if we go to Disney World, I think we're going to go in the year 2020. We're going to go to Disney World in Florida, and if I freak out, and which can happen for no reason, there's no trigger, and I just want to go home, um, get on a little trolley and tram or whatever, go back, stay for a couple hours or whatever. He can go back and play or lay with me or take a nap. I get my medicine and kind of get my heart back going, and then go back to Disney World. You know, and it's like, and we never have to pack, Joe. We never have to pack.
that I mean, it really is beautiful the way you just put that.
Oh, that was the key thing there. Um, there's a lot more out of my reach that I would, prefer, but you got to give up something, And but we have a washer and dryer. We have 2 full bathrooms with bidet toilets. We have 4 bedroom compartment. We have the main bedroom. We have a little bunkhouse with 2 bunks. Sofa becomes a bed. Dining room becomes a bed, but I never do that because I don't think I could eat here again. And then behind me, we have the upstairs bed that drops down.
Wow.
That's the cockpit. Oh, it's over there. I can't see anything. But anyway, that's that. And then, of course, it's got the 3 slide outs. And I just got a new microwave. I don't want to tell anybody, but I think my clip will run before yours. Um, I got a new microwave, and it's from Amazon. It's called Amazon Basics, and Alexa runs it. I just say, Alexa, popcorn, 3 minutes. It'll do it.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh,
Did not find a device supporting that action.
no,
To
that one.
get started, enable the device skill in your Alexa app.
Okay, I was wrong. She won't do it, but the other one will. Because we have 4 um, Echoes, or what do you call them? We have the big one and then the little ones. And
Oh,
one of the
the
little ones
echoes
runs.
and
I can't show you because um, I'd have to have food in the microwave, and I don't think I can make her stop it. I don't want to test it, but anyway, yeah, you just tell it how many minutes or how many, defrost 12 pounds and I did my food, and I just say, shut up. Anyway, echo, echo microwave, 30 seconds, and oh, it's stupid. I mean, my God, and it's about this big. It's just tiny, but it's perfect dorm. But we have the big microwave convection oven. I can't reach it, so this is cool for me to heat up little things because mine would work 7 p.m. to 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
right.
And if I get hungry, what am I going to do? And so,
So, what some people are wondering, and I don't know if it's possible or not, since you guys are mobile, are are you going to be doing any cons?
no, I will do, and we have done when we travel. Announcing our travels, where we're going to be at, and we arrange like little meet and greets. We'll say we're going to be um, Vegas or Arizona, wherever we're going to be at, and it's easier for 10 people to come and see us than us to try to go see 10 people. Everything. So I'll say, and I try to space them out. Of course, can't have 10 people in here, and we'll set up things. I mean, but I really have to know them, of course, or it'll be in a more public area. Not that my fans are bad, just people are bad. And, what do you call it? I have terminal lung disease, but I want to go on my own. I don't want some crazy fan to do it for me. But no, we love to do that. I won't do cons. They call them cons for a reason because they're ripoffs. And I can't remember if I've done 10, how many I've done, but I've lost money on every single one except 2. 2 people treated me very well. Darkon screwed me out of 2,500. Um, I
Wow.
can name them all later, but they don't treat only the big names, of course, William Shatner and all that, because they get cash up front, and then the con has to do what their best to make that money back, and that's why they
Right.
charge 200 or 300 per person. Well, 100 people's 300,000, and they just paid William 50,000. So they made $250,000 plus the door, plus the parking, plus all the vendors pay for that slot. Just all income for them,
Wow,
and that's
really?
that's why my autographs are $5. I will never charge. If you are an actor and you go to these cons and you charge 35, 45, $55, that I mean, if your career sucked that bad, or you did not make enough money, don't take it out on your fans. You know,
It's a valid point.
go get a goddamn job. If you didn't, I mean, if you, or even if you made really, really good money and you wasted it. Lord knows I've blown a bunch. I had 3 houses, 5 cars, and no clue. So, got rid of those real quick. Well, not real quick. I had it for 10 years. But I did everything you could do on real estate. Made a fortune on one house, lost my butt on another house, and broke even on the other house. And it's the only 3 things you can do with real estate. There's nothing else you can do. You can make money, lose money, or break even, and I did all 3. And I said, I'm done. This is not fun. But when I did they wanted me to charge $25, $35 for a picture, and I've got little 9-year-old kids, 12-year-old kids with a $5 bill in their hand, or 2 $1 bills going, how much, mister? And I'm listening to the people next door. $55. Well, I've only got 5. Well, go back and get 20 more. Go to your parent. It's just, what? No.
Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking.
Well, no, but it's still, this one little boy, he had a skateboard. And we were in Burbank at the Burbank one, which is really close to my house then. And he had this little $5 bill. He's rubbing it like it's going to grow. And it's like, how much are your pictures? And of course, I didn't know anything. I said 25, I think 25. And he's like, oh. And I look at it, I can see it now. He's got a $5 bill. And I'm going, but he had a skateboard. And that just told me he lived close by. What the hell's he doing with a skateboard if they flew in from Kentucky? So I said, where do you live? And that sounded horrible. But he said, oh, just right across and he named the street because we're in Burbank. Oh, I said, oh. And I said, is this your brother or whatever? He said, no, just my friend. I said, okay, are you going to be here all day? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I got a van. No. I said, come back around closing. When shut up. When everything's wrapping up. And I'll see what I can do. So they like clockwork. The lights flashed or whatever and saying the show was closing in 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. Bam! They were there like a magnet. Hi, you remember me? Still got that $5 bill in his hand, just rubbing it, hoping it grows. So I gave him free autographs, and some of the other actors in my little area walked over and said, "Did you just give that away?" I said, "Well, yeah, why?" He said, "Oh, honey, you can't give this away. You got to charge them. You start giving away, you're gonna give them all away." I said, "I can give them all away. I don't care. I am not here for the money. I'm here for the fans. If I needed the money, how much money can you make at a con? Well, if I'm in dire need of money, that ain't enough.
That is beautiful.
So I used to do 1 film a year for free in my career when I was working. But I had rules. Had to be a student film or a new people, of course. Not going to be Spielberg or Lucas. Um, it had to have promise. They had to have. It was in a school, which will never get displayed. It's just for their grade. Or if it's up for sale, then I want money. Promissory. If it makes money, I get money. If it doesn't, we'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
So I tried. I did one of. I tried to do at least one a year of those when I was working, and then now with the lung problems, I can't work at all. But even with the autographs, I haven't been selling them lately. I've been sick, and with the whole move and the whole life, But I'm gonna get back to it, and they'll be $5 each. Usually, I do $5 each, minimum of 4. I still get my 20, but you get 4, not 1. And if I charge for shipping, it's okay, what's that noise? I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
No, live is flashing, and it never did before.
I'm not sure.
Oh, they're perfect now. I just heard a bunch of hissing, like a radio interference.
Oh, I really hope that wasn't my dog drinking in the background outside my
No,
studio.
it was static hiss. It was
Okay.
static hiss. But anyway, this is where I lose myself. What was I saying?
We were on cons, and four $5 ones
Oh yeah,
equal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, but if I charge shipping, I had my website, if you remember, was taken away from me. Um, it was set up to where it would charge you shipping if you bought one picture or 10 pictures. It wasn't per picture. It was $5 shipping, not $5 each. So
Wow.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in it to make money, but I'm not in it to give. I'm not. I can't lose money.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. Nobody would expect you to.
right, and so like, the most expensive package is to like Brazil and other places. It's $6.04. I charge $5. Come on, I'm okay. I
Well,
pay for.
Ed, let me tell you what I would like to do if I could. And I would love to send you something through PayPal. Sign a picture for me so I could put it in the background of my show. And I guarantee I would treasure it throughout. I mean, it would just be so cool. And that's something I want to try to do with everybody I have on the show is get a little piece of it going in back here
Exactly.
and generic Superman stuff, Clerks, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's one thing I didn't do, and if people I like to say no regrets. And I can't think. I don't have any regrets. I think I have one. Well, this show will be number two, but the the
I
only
love
regret
them.
is because I worked so hard on each film, I was wiped out after every day. I was carry me home in a stretcher, and just pour me into bed. Um, I never took the time to get pictures of the actors. People say, "Oh, get a picture with, got a picture with Michael." Don't kid yourself. Um, but I didn't. I don't think I have a picture with Jeffrey Jones, Leah Thompson. I mean, as Howard, the stage gave me pictures, but I never
Right.
took. I mean, Jeffrey Jones was at my home for Thanksgiving. I don't think we took pictures. I've
Really?
seen Leah many times. I used to see Leah about once a year. She lived right around the corner, but no pictures. Um, George Clooney, no pictures. Robin Williams, I didn't get a picture, and I called him every name in the book. And because he broke the golden rule and he touched me while I was sleeping. It
Oh.
scared the living day. And I said, jump. Well, the girl beside me, my caretaker, would always say, don't touch him, he's sleeping. And Robin was like, right, it's a puppet. You know what I mean? And he wanted, what's it made of? And he wanted to touch it. And she was adamant. And now he's getting mad. He's like, I'm the comedian, honey. Don't try to be funny. Okay, and she's like, no. He grabbed my foot. I jumped. He jumped. He screamed like a girl because he was not expecting. There's a person in this suit. Because the duck is laying there with the mouth open, eyes open, looks dead. And I don't snore when I sleep. He grabbed my foot, and I just jumped up and I said, "Who the is that?" You know, and I looked and I said, "Where's Lauren?" And she says, "I'm right here." I said, "Who the and why the?" And all I hear is, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And then all I hear is, "Robin Williams." And I'm like, for a second, I went to school with a girl named Robin Williams, and I was like, "Who?" That made it worse. She says, "Robin Williams," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I jumped up, stuck my hand out. Where are you? It's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He goes, "No, I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was anybody in the suit." And she says, "I told him. I told him." He's like, "Oh, she did. She did." And we had a laugh and then never saw him again. And people like to say, "You're friends with Robin Williams?" No. He pissed me off. I cussed him out. We never saw each other. But I tell everybody I've been stepped on by the biggest people in Hollywood. I tripped then Sonny Bono, the mayor of Palm Springs, where my first house was. we were at his restaurant by invitation, and he was in a booth talking to somebody, and you know how you look at the people you're talking to as you get up. You're not looking that you're gonna bump into a busboy, you know. Well, he didn't see me. He turned his head like so, and I'm below his eye line, and he stepped on me, and tripped a little bit, and scared him to death. And Ed McMahon, that's a big guy. Ed McMahon is huge and heavy. He stepped on my foot, and he almost fell. And that man's too big and too old to fall. And he almost fell. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I go, "Me, I'm sorry. I didn't know." And then I was in a rat suit. Shut up. I was for another movie for a TV show that never happened. And I got like a 4 or 5 foot tail behind me. And so all of a sudden I hear the bell ring for the shot. And I'm like, "What? Rolling? I'm in this shot. Why didn't anybody come and get me?" Because I went to the bathroom. Oh, God. So I went running really fast. And I stayed up against the wall. So I went around the corner. And Jay Leno was holding his arm up against the wall. And in his case, he's got a wingspan of a fucking condor. So I basically ran under his arm. And he thought he saw me, but he saw the tail. And he jumped. He goes, "What the hell?" And I turned around, and I didn't have my head on. So I turned my head around. I said, "Sorry, gotta run." And I went there under the curtain and slid like a ball player. And I was supposed to be laying on the ground with my head up like this. I laid down, did a baseball slide right into my spot. Action. Director called action. And I was like, yes. Could never plan that. Could never describe it. Could never. There's no film on it, because they weren't rolling film. Oh, they were, but they weren't on me. They were rolling film, but they was someplace else. And action, blah 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 blah, and then they got to me. Then the whole time.
Oh, that is so awesome!
I've got stories of abuse, being taken advantage of, being screwed over, and I don't care about those. I like the funny stories, I like you know, it's like, working with one of the worst actors or worst mean directors on the planet, and I just say, that doesn't matter. I worked on his last film.
Well played.
Yeah, I can say that,
That is beautiful. Ed, we're at about an hour and a half mark here, and
I'm sorry.
No, please don't apologize. I would love to have you on again. We're just reaching the limit of what I can do for the show right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's do this. Let's keep track of each other, and each time a film of mine has an anniversary, because they're spread out that way, maybe I'll pop in, and I'd love to do your show again.
That would be spectacular, and I greatly appreciate it. Before we leave, can you
not
please...
locking it in. That was just a suggestion,
Oh, no, I'm actually locking... Oh, no, that wasn't... No, I'm kidding, Ed. It's all good. No, I get it. Before we leave, though, tell us where everybody can find you on social media, if you would. And Miles, and Maynard,
right?
And the whole gang. And I'm going to put you up solo. Go for it.
Hey, thanks, first of all, for everybody who joined us. And you definitely have to let me know how many of you that we bored to death. And we'll be happy to know that. You can find me on Facebook, Ed Gale. My fan page, I believe, is going to be a character. It'll be Chucky or Howard or somebody. My personal page will be me. And I don't know the moniker. I think, like, official Ed Gale, actor. See, I don't know the names. But you can find me. Can't miss this mug. And if you're on Instagram, it's official.miles.gale. That's the puppy's fan page. He loves people. He loves chatting. And, Minard is on there too. Minard Gale. Mynard. So he wasn't able to be on today because the baby's being naughty today. It's like bad baby, bad parent day. But thank you all for listening and joining the show. I know Joe has a great show going. He has a great following, and hopefully he didn't lose a lot of people with me. Your rating just went down. You Rotten Tomatoes. You got to see what they'll say about this.
All right, and everybody, you can find Obscure and Unscripted on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.